Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So in the last video, we looked at how to implement Flask security. So we had authentication already working, and that comes with login forms, logout, stuff like that, and that'll handle session management for us. So what we want to do is update the profile method to use the new email, which is basically the user identifier within our user table instead of username. So we no longer have username, it's just going to be email. So let's go ahead and update that to use the new email object. And everything else should work the same. So let's go ahead and just test this out, see if we can get to the profile page and get the same type of data out of our website. We will have a problem in the template though, because we do reference a username feature or attribute that's not there. So let's just see if we can go to the profile page first. And instead of a test, you need to actually send in the name of the... Yeah, so that's where it's throwing in. It has no username, which we knew that, which I clearly should have changed that to email. And we're still going to get a problem with the template though. So the template, even though there's no username, it just ignores it, as you can see, but the results are the same. We're getting the email out of the database. And what other information is in the database? Let's take a look. So if we go to user and we view data, the top 100 roles, you can see that there's an ID there. Password, you obviously wouldn't want to display the password, but yeah, that's kind of crappy. We probably could have a username and just extend the user table if we wanted to. But for right now, we'll just leave our profile page just like this. That's fine. This is coming straight from the database, though, this email address, which is also the username. So if we scroll to the top of the website, you can see in the last video, we imported a login required. And that's part of Flask security. In order to use it, what we would do, it's just a decorator like we've seen with app.route. We would just go ahead and place that underneath the app.route and just say login required. And now this is going to restrict the profile page to only be allowed to be seen by people that are actually logged into the site. So let's go ahead and test and see if this thing works. Now, one interesting thing to note is that even though we restarted our server, Flask security is actually, because the same browser session is open, it remembers that we're logged into the site. So we need to go ahead and say /log out. And that'll take us back to the home page here. And then if I try to go log in again, you should see that we're not actually logged in. Like all that information is still remembered because we told the browser to remember it. But we're completely logged out now. So now if I try to go to profile, and we'll pass in the same thing that worked before, we get redirected to the login page saying that we're not logged in. Please log in to access this page, which is what we want. We don't want people that aren't logged in to be able to view their profile page. So if I log in, I can now access the profile page. In fact, the login was smart enough to know that that was the page that I was trying to get to, and it took me to that page after it logged me in. Alright guys, so just a few things to point out. With Flask security, you can see that it's actually just storing the password in plain text. You typically never want to do that in a production environment. People, they look to websites to secure their information. So if your database was ever exposed, then they would have just clear access to the passwords. And I'm not sure if you recall, but at one point, Sony got breached with the PS3, and like they had credit card information, all that stuff, and they didn't even bother encrypting it. They took a lot of slack for that. That's really inexcusable nowadays. Flask security actually does all the encryption for you, but it doesn't actually handle the encryption algorithm. That it leaves that up to you. And there's several encryption algorithms out there, like Bcrypt and a few other ones. And we're not going to discuss that in this tutorial, but before we ever try to deploy this app somewhere, that's something that will have to be revisited, so that way you're not storing plain text passwords, that it's going to be this big old like GUID looking thing. So just keep that in mind before you guys try to deploy something like this out to like Heroku or wherever you're going to go to deploy this thing. All right, guys, thanks for watching and have a good night. Bye.